Hey guys, friends, enemies, associates, subscribers, whoever, thanks for watching. Back again, finally. It's been too long, been way longer than I hoped. Sorry about that, but there's just other things that I have to do. Anyway, this is going to be a belated response to, actually let me move this camera a bit, to Sequoiaflame's personal flame thread. Or personal thread, or whichever he called it. Some questions that are kind of cool. I'm going to answer them, and then I'm going to combine that with a couple of, or at least one response to 24dB, who's been doing some questions of the day. So without further ado, I'm going to just answer these as best as I can. Probably not too exciting answer-wise, but we'll see. The first one is, how intimate do you get with your records? Not very, I gotta say. Probably less than most of you. I do like to, open up the cover and back cover and read any liner notes that are there. I'll read, and this keeps slipping. If there's pictures, I like to look at the pictures. If there's any inserts, I'll take a look at those. Usually while the music's playing. But in general, and I like to look at the labels and variations on labels too. But a lot of times they'll be sitting on my shelf, and then I'll play it when the mood strikes. But a lot of times they are just going to sit on the shelves. And actually, when I moved out here about 3 years ago, I just left behind a bunch of records, about 600 or 700 actually, and I was okay with just saying goodbye. It didn't really affect me too much. In a lot of cases, they weren't even that in really good shape, and I was able to just rebuy, upgrade the ones that I didn't have, and the more interesting ones did get shipped out to me, so that was good. But yeah, not too intimate overall. Question 2: how do you feel about surface noise? I'm against it. Especially if it's quieter music, anything with quieter passages. So if there's surface noise, that can be a real pain. If it's a noisy record anyway, recording-wise, like if it's a raucous punk rock record, it's not really gonna be that big a deal. But yeah, anything quiet, anything, classical, or even some jazz, try to avoid surface noise as much as I can. Sometimes it's actually really hard. I remember getting a record used, and what happened? Oh, you can't even tell, but it looks so totally clean. But whoever had it before me must have played it with a terrible needle, like a really cheap needle, one of those really cheap, kiddie turntables that just kind of ruin the record. So there's surface noise everywhere, and you can't get rid of it. There's no way to know. So that's always unfortunate when you're buying used, but that's, that'll happen sometimes. Question 3, do I have a favorite color for vinyl? No, I can't say that I do. I mainly just collect for the, music, so the collector aspect in terms of, different colors, that sort of thing, not really into. However, I will show this, since this was probably, out of all the colored vinyl I have, which isn't very many, this was kind of cool. I just found this about 2 months ago. Kate Bush, Hounds of Love. Really good record. And I'll pull this out. This is actually, I don't know how well this is going to come out on the camera, but this is a cool, like pink, purplish marble vinyl thing here. That's pretty cool. So that was a cool find. And I would have to say that is my favorite color out of the 10 records that are actually colored. Moving right along, number 4, how do you drop the needle? I just use this, my thumb and my index finger, the head shell, drop it very gently, but I have very steady fingers. So the other option would be to use the cue. And sometimes I use the cue, but not usually. Number 5, do I prefer my vinyl thin or fat? Well, I don't really care. A lot of people are suckers for that big, thick vinyl, 180 gram, 200 gram, 210. I don't know how big you can get. But I have some thinner pressings that are actually sounding pretty good. The Dynaflex stuff that didn't last. RCA did really, really thin vinyl that was so... Oh, I should have shown some of my Dynaflex, but it was vinyl that actually like flopped back and forth so thin that it was actually getting warped by the shrink wrap sometimes. That's... People have mixed reactions on that. I actually kind of don't mind that too much. There's some really good records that actually sound really good. The Nielsen Schmilsen, for example, sounds fine, and that's Dynaflex. So I don't think it, yeah, mixed reaction. Some sound good, some sound not so good, but I mean, it's the case with fatter vinyl too. So, it's a mixed bag. I don't have a clear-cut favorite, whether it's thin or fat. And last but not least, hypothetical question. Pick a record or records that if it was magically transformed into a person, you would have sex with them. Well, I thought about this for a while. At first I thought it would have to be like a soul singer, maybe Ann Peebles or Erykah Badu would be a good choice. And then I finally decided that if I could pick one record, it would be this. Because she would be a freak. This record is insane. Sextant. If you haven't heard this, this is Herbie Hancock. This is so ahead of its time. Yeah, she would be doing things that I've never even thought of. And she would be totally in control. This sounds like Square Pusher in the late 90s, and it came out in the early 70s. So this would be the record to have sex with, if I could, because it's so good. So there's that. Sorry about this camera. What else? Oh, well, let me answer the 24dB question. It was, what is the rarest record you have? There's not many. But out of all the ones that I have, this is probably it. This is the Meters. It's an original copy on the Josie label. This is Look a Pie Pie, and I don't know, it sells for like $200 on eBay if it's in good shape, and this happens to be in like really good shape. I'm gonna pull out the record so you can see. Again, this is like super clean. This turned up at a flea market one time for like, I think $3, and it was just blown away that someone actually had this and didn't know what it was, and just like, obviously not aware of the value, which was quite high. And musically, this is like just a samples paradise. There's hip hop samples left and right here, so that's probably the rarest that I have so far. There's always more for the future. So there's that video. That covers that. I'll try to do one very soon, maybe some recent finds, and I know there's other thread responses. I'd like to respond to all, but I can't always get around to it. But yeah, it's just fun. So I'll see you guys, talk to you very soon. Thanks for watching, and have a good one.